What if one lens could replace your wide angle, your everyday walk around, and even handle portraits without weighing you down or costing a fortune? That's exactly what the Tamron 20-40mm f2.8 is trying to do. It's compact, it's sharp, and it brings a really unique zoom range to the table. But is it actually worth it for photographers or videographers, or is it just another lens that almost gets everything right? Today, I want to take a real-world look at the Tamron 20-40mm for the Sony E-Mount and talk about what it does well, where it falls short, and who it actually makes sense for. If you're new here, my name is RJ, and on this channel, it's all about photography, filmmaking, and real-world gear reviews to help you make smarter, creative decisions. I've used this lens for about 3 years now, and today we're taking a deep dive into this Tamron zoom lens to see if it's the right one for you. Now, this is currently retailed at 949 Canadian dollars on Amazon at the time of making this video, so it's a decent price for a wide angle zoom lens that's full frame. So that's something to keep in mind. Now let's talk about the build and the design of this thing. Right away, first thing you notice about this lens is how small and lightweight it is. I mean, it just comes at over 350 grams, which is incredibly light for a constant f2.8 zoom. If you're used to something like the 24-70mm, this will feel like a huge relief, especially on longer shoots. It balances really nicely on Sony mirrorless bodies and makes the whole setup feel much more portable and less intimidating, which is great if you're shooting on the street or traveling. The build quality is solid. I mean, it's mostly plastic, but it doesn't feel cheap or flimsy. Tamron keeps things very minimal with their design, so there are no buttons or switches on the lens itself, just a clean barrel with a zoom ring and a focus ring. You may or may not like that. That's just preference, I think, and for me, I'm good with that. No buttons needed on the lens for me. It's also weather sealed, which is reassuring if you're shooting outdoors, and it uses a 67mm filter thread, which is consistent across the Tamron lenses. So if you already own some Tamron lenses, you can share filters easily, which is a huge plus. I know it is for me. Now let's talk about the pink elephant in the room, the focal range. 20-40mm isn't something you see every day. I'll just straight up say it, it's just a weird focal length, okay? Most zooms either go wider like the classic 16-35mm or the tighter 24-70, but this sits right in between, and though it's an odd range, I gotta admit, that actually makes it more useful than it might seem at first. At 20mm, you get a very wide field of view. This is great for environmental portraits, travel shots, architecture, or even video and vlogging. This actually has been my main vlogging lens for the past 3 years now and counting, because it's wide enough for me. It lets you include a lot of context in your frame without stepping too far back. As you zoom in towards the 35 and 40mm, the perspective becomes more natural and flattering for everyday shooting. This range works really well for street photography and casual portraits. It's not a traditional portrait focal length like the 85mm, so you won't get that strong compression, but for lifestyle and environmental portrait work, it actually feels very natural and engaging. Now, when it comes to image quality, this lens performs very, very well. It's sharp, especially in the center. Even when you're shooting wide open at f2.8, you get clean, detailed images with contrast. The corners are a bit softer at 20mm, but they improve as you stop down, and in most real-world situations, it's not that noticeable, and besides, it's not something that will bother you. At least I know it didn't for me. The colors are neutral and consistent, which is great because it gives you a lot of flexibility when editing. Nothing looks overly processed or stylized straight out of the camera. Distortion and vignetting are present, but just a little bit, especially at the wider end. But if you're shooting on Sony, those are usually corrected automatically either in camera or in your editing software, so it's not a major issue. Autofocus is another strong point. It's fast, quiet, and reliable. If anything, just as good as the Sony native lenses. It works really well with Sony's eye autofocus as well, which is important if you're shooting portraits. It tracks subjects accurately and it doesn't hunt around as much, even at f2.8. For video, the focus transitions are very smooth and silent, so it's a solid option if you're a hybrid shooter. In low light, the constant f2.8 aperture definitely helps. You can shoot indoors during sunset or in dark environments without immediately pushing your ISO way too high. It's not gonna compete with fast prime lenses, but for a zoom lens, it definitely holds its own. As for bokeh, this isn't a lens you buy for that super creamy, heavily blurred background. Because of the wider focal length, the background separation is more subtle. That said, at 35-40mm with f2.8, you can still get that nice subject separation if your subject is closer to your camera and your background is a bit further away. The look is more natural and environmental, which can actually add more storytelling to your images. In terms of real-world use, this lens makes a lot of sense for photographers who like to keep things lightweight and flexible. If you shoot environmental portraits, travel, or street photography, it's a really strong option. You can capture wide scenes, then quickly zoom in for more intimate shots without changing lenses. It's also a great choice for content creators and vloggers. The 20mm end is wide enough for handheld video without feeling too distorted, and the autofocus keeps things smooth and reliable. However, if your work is focused on tight portraits with strong background compression, this probably won't replace your longer lenses. It's more about versatility than specialization. Now, overall, the Tamron 20-40mm f2.8 is a really well-rounded lens. It's compact, sharp, and offers a unique focal range that actually ends up being very practical. It's not trying to replace every lens in your camera bag, but it might become the one you reach for the most and the most versatile one, because I know it is for me. And honestly, that's what makes it worth considering. And that's it for today's video, and make sure you subscribe to my channel for more videos like these. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.